Today we're going to talk about power, paint, and one seriously underrated artist, Sofonisba Anguissola. In the 16th century, most women in Europe weren't allowed to paint professionally, let alone just being around royal courts painting future queens. But Anguissola did just that, and more. This video is going to be about how she used portrait painting, especially in her portrait of the Infanta Isabella Clara Eugenia, to challenge expectations about gender, power, and identity, without stepping too far outside the strict rules of the Spanish court. So here's a quick background about the artist. Sofonisba was born in Cremona, Italy in 1532. She didn't come from royalty, but her talent was so undeniable that she eventually ended up in the Spanish court, working as a court painter and companion to Queen Elizabeth of Valois. But what's really interesting is how she made space for herself as a woman in a world run by men. She didn't protest loudly or break all the rules. She played by the game, and she played it smart. First, we're going to start with the painting Portrait of the Infanta Isabella Clara Eugenia. It looks like a pretty typical royal portrait. Rich clothes, serious expression, fancy background. But if you look closely, there's a lot more going on. Isabella isn't just shown as a pretty face or a royal accessory. Her expression is calm but sharp. She's composed, but you can tell she has a presence. Anguissola paints her like she matters, and she did. Isabella would then go on to rule the Spanish Netherlands. With this portrait, Anguissola seems to be showing that Isabella isn't just someone important because of her royal status. She's someone with real potential and influence. Notice the way Anguissola paints the hands, carefully positioned, full of intention. And the eyes aren't just looking out blankly, they're focused and aware. There's a quiet strength in the way Isabella is presented. This is something Anguissola did often in her work, especially with female subjects. She gave them a sense of presence and individuality that many male artists at the time overlooked. Now let's turn to Anguissola herself. In her self-portrait at the easel, she shows herself in the act of painting. That might not seem unusual today, but at the time, it was a powerful statement. Women were usually the subjects of art, not the ones creating it. By showing herself at work, Anguissola made it clear that she's not just part of the art world, she's a professional artist, and she takes her role seriously. A lot of male court painters showed themselves with clients or tools of power. Anguissola focuses on the fact of painting itself. It's personal, thoughtful, and intimate. She's not just proving that she can paint, she's showing you how she sees the world. Another great example is her portrait of Queen Elizabeth of Valois. Sofonisba and Elizabeth were close, and it shows. The portrait feels softer, more human, less like political propaganda, and more like a real person. She paints the queen with grace, but also with warmth, and that kind of emotional connection was rare in royal portraiture. So, why does this matter? Sofonisba Anguissola didn't stage a revolution. She didn't break all the rules. Instead, she worked with the system and quietly rewrote what a woman artist could do. She gave her female sitters a real presence, painted herself as a working artist, and made a spot for herself in one of the most powerful courts in Europe. Her work is subtle, smart, and full of meaning. So today we look back at Anguissola, not just as a talented painter, but as a woman who used art to push boundaries and tell deeper stories about woman, power, and identity.